If you paid attention to the earnings reports of Facebook, Peloton, and others, you may have noticed them complaining about the billions of dollars they lost because of Apple's new feature for iOS 14.5 called App Tracking Transparency. In this video, I will explain what App Tracking Transparency is, what companies like Facebook and Peloton were able to do prior to this feature, and how to turn it on to give yourself some protection. So, Apple's iOS applies to every device a unique identifier called IDFA, or Identifier for Advertisers. That allowed app developers to link data collected from the application to your iPhone so they could measure how effective their advertising was. It's similar to how a cookie works on your web browser, where you go to a site like walmart.com, you add a few items to your cart, you close your computer for the evening, and the next day when you go in, the items are still in your cart when you visit walmart.com. This kind of works in the same way. Just like you could turn cookies off on your web browser, you can turn this identifier off as well, but it was kind of hard to find and nobody really did it unless you really knew and you wanted to find it. But prior to iOS 14.5, apps like Facebook abused this feature to the level I would call creepy. What Facebook does on iPhones, and by the way they do this on Android as well, is to not only collect the data linked to the IDFA for their own applications, which is Messenger, Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp, but they would collect the data for every application that was on your iPhone. Okay, you could argue that we all know Facebook does this and we signed up for it. What about Peloton, for example? On their earnings report, they partly blamed Apple's App Tracking Transparency for revenue lost. And that is because they want to track the activity on all other apps on your phone just to give you better ads so they can make more money. How is that okay? Why do they need to know what I do on my Nike Run app? Or what meals I track on Lose It? I'm personally sick and tired of companies complaining that they can't use us as their product. Imagine you always go to the same pizza shop. The owner knows you, knows what car you drive in, knows what purchases you make. That's all well and good. But how would you like it if after you left the pizza shop, the owner started following you around and tracking everywhere you went, what groceries you shopped, what people you hung out with, what bars you went, where you live? I think you would find that pretty creepy, and I would too. Facebook and Peloton do exactly that. They want to collect as much information on us as they can so they can better sell us to advertisers and they can charge a higher rate. What Apple did with iOS 14.5 was rename IDFA to App Tracking Transparency and bring that feature to the forefront and allow us as users to choose whether we want apps to do this or not. Once the OS was updated, you started getting pop-ups asking you if you would like this application to track you. And if you said no, the app had to respect your choice and only collect data on their own application. Otherwise, they risked being removed from the App Store. And I doubt Facebook would like to be removed from millions of iPhones around the world. So let me show you on the iPhone how this feature works and how to turn it on for yourself. Okay, so let me show you where the setting is, how you can enable it, and what does it actually do. Now, launch your Settings app and scroll down to where it says Privacy and select that. On that screen, select the second item, which is Tracking. And here you will find the settings for App Tracking Transparency. If this setting is off as it is here, you will not get the notification for every application on your screen. It will automatically choose Do Not Track for you. And that is basically what you want, unless you want to see the pop-up for every application, and that could get tedious. Now, if you want to allow a specific app to track you, there will be a list below here, like you will see here where it says SiriusXM, and you can selectively turn that feature on to allow that specific application to track you. Now, personally, I don't want anybody tracking all my activity on my phone, so I usually keep everything off. I've had it off since 14.5. I've saw no ill effects. It's been working great, so I recommend you keep it off as well. But here's where you will find that setting, and this is how you do it to turn it on. Now, this is not a panacea. It's just another tool in the constant fight in protecting our privacy. Don't kid yourselves if you think Facebook, Google, Peloton, and all the other companies are not trying to figure out a way to get not only around this, but any other protections we may put in place. We just got to keep fighting on. Thanks for watching. Subscribe and hit the notification bell for more videos like this. and catch you in the next one.